right, guys. We are back, or I'm back anyway. Um, let's see. Been a couple weeks, 2, 3 weeks, couple weeks. I don't remember how long, but we'll give everybody a minute here to get on, and then I'll start talking. Um, you'll notice that I'm missing a couple weeks ago, or last time we were here. I had a statue here. Now, now Catwoman is here. They had a big Bane statue that I got at Bradenton. It's now gone. I had somebody contact me. Frank was his name. That comes to our shows and actually watches the videos. And he contacted me here on the page and wanted to buy the statue. I'm like, okay, I guess, sure. I mean, I got it from a vendor because I have a Batman collection, and then normally I don't necessarily sell stuff. Oh, hey, Humpty, you're on YouTube. You're on YouTube too. I gotta get with this YouTube stuff. But thanks for joining us and subscribing to the show. I gotta this next year I'm gotta really up the game here in my video stuff. I tried to do stuff this year, but didn't do as well as I wanted. I got a camera. I did record some videos. Just I didn't get them posted. I mean, maybe I'll work on that over the holidays. Hey, Toy Stalker, we haven't seen you in a little while. Hopefully, we'll see you in 2026. And then Mark, thank you for coming. We didn't see you at the 16th show, and Margaret and them, Margaret and John and them, all coming. Are all on here. Okay, well, hey, thanks guys for coming out. This is gonna be a weird kind of, I want to say a weird video for me because unfortunately I have to talk about some disappointing things on here. I don't do that very often or at all. I try to avoid that if possible, but I just have to talk about so I can get things out of the way and clear up, and so we're moving forward for the new year. Now, everybody knows that I've been working on this Santa's Super Gift Show, and I've actually been working on the show I've actually been wanting to do the show for a couple years now. However, I have a specific idea of what I want, and it's bigger than just having a couple guests and having a toy show. The idea is to mix toys with actual handmade crafty stuff and gifts. Basically a gift show is what I was trying to do. So what I'm going to do, let me make this a little bit where I'm a little bit bigger. Okay. So anyway, the goal is to have a cool show in December, which we don't normally do. We do usually have a Star Wars show, Star Wars G.I. Joe show which someone else is doing that. They're not taking over my show, but they're just doing their own thing that they've already had for a while. They hiatused it anyway. My point is that normally we don't do a show in December, and then I wanted to do this, and then I wanted to have gift wrapping and all of these items. Okay, but we can't do any of that without vendors. Just like we can't do any show without vendors. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cancel this show. I hate the idea of canceling any show. And I'm going to be talking about Daytona here in a minute also, but it's really sad too, because if we look at the actual event page, I don't have a crazy amount of people, but I could go to another show and they'll have 200 people that are interested in their show that they're doing this week, and here I am, I'm going to cancel a show with over 1,000 people interested in doing it. And the reason why is because I don't have the vendors. I just don't, that are interested in this. Um, it's only I think I'm only a third full on the show, and so I really can't justify spending literally hardcore the next 3 weeks to make sure that it's full and make sure it goes well. And then that's also going to put me behind for the January show, the January 4th Coral Springs show, in our normal schedule. Okay, and so I've made a decision that I'm just going to cut my losses at this point, and try again next year. Um, I mean, I don't even know if the people that signed up will want to do it next year, but I want to try to get a new date and give myself more time. There just isn't time to put this together, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to cancel. So I've already contacted Scott, and I contacted Eddie and earlier, and I also, yesterday, you'll notice the flyer changed to one day. Yesterday, I had talked to everybody, and I planned on going ahead with one day. I'm listening to the news last night, and it says only 3 weeks from Christmas, and it just, like, the timing hit me, like, we're less than 3 weeks away, and I have to fill 15,000 square feet, and I've got a third of that filled. So, and I have people that are on the fence that haven't paid me and all this. It's a whole thing. Like, I can't, but I'm going to have to cancel. As much as I hate the idea of doing that, and I've never canceled a show since COVID, and even then we just pushed the show around. But this one, I'm just going to refund everybody's money that actually. There are people that do our regular shows, and hopefully I can just move their money to another show. But if not, then I'll just refund the money, and then I'll move on. Okay, and that's the way it is. Again, it's not something I want to do, but that's just how it is. And so so I'll be getting with everybody. I messaged all the vendors that signed up for it on Eventany about it already, and and so yeah, Andy, I did message you. Andy's one of them, and so I'll be getting with everybody in the next couple of days, and and I'm gonna have to pay well, anyway, I'm not gonna get into all the details. Okay. Now, the other show that I've been having an issue with is Daytona. Basically, what happened was with Daytona is, because I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to move on to our next shows. Yeah, thanks, Jason. I appreciate that, man. The show being right and have it not be good. I agree with that's really what it comes down to. Could I throw together a show? Could I throw together a show and make it okay? Yeah, but in the market that I'm in, I can't afford to have kind of a crappy show, because when I started, and this was the other thing that when I started, there were no toy shows. Basically, there were a couple shows. I mean, Mike Priest and Rick were doing the show over there at Avanti. That was more of a comic show. I didn't know about that show. Tom was doing his show with toys and comics, mostly comics, not toys. Comic cons, and then there was like the little Star Wars show, but there really wasn't a lot of toy show like there are today. And so the amount of things that I'm competing with for vendors attention is just, and especially around here now, I'm just talking about my market. Okay, you got several people that run 10 plus shows, even if they're only in one location. I mean, that is making it so I have to work harder. There's a lot of have to work harder. Okay. To fill these, because you got a lot of online sales. You got, I mean, eBay is a thing, but you got other avenues now. And then whenever somebody opens a store, we never see them again. So, um, it's a major job. And I'm not whining, but I'm just saying that, I got to work hard to fill these shows. And I want customers to have a great time, and I want vendors to have a great time, in all that. So, that's why I just can't, if it's not right, and that brings me back to Daytona. If it's not right, then I'm not going to do it. Now, what happened with Daytona? All right, now, in my opinion, and somebody can disagree with me here, but in I've been around events, not necessarily just toy show. I've been around events for at least around here, like hardcore events, for at least 10 years. Okay, I know that's nothing, in the span of time, but I've been going to Florida events, or I've been hosting them for more than 10 years. And I have never seen a great event put on at Ocean Center as far as the draw. So when they contacted me about doing the show there, I was like, "Hey, sure, let me look into this. Nobody else has really had big numbers, but you know what? We don't need big numbers for our customers to make money. So, or for our vendors to make money, and we want to have something in Daytona." So I went ahead and with the idea that I was gonna have this bigger space and all that, but I did feel like I needed more time to promote it. I needed more time, which is why I tried to reschedule it for the 25th. Now, every week there's a new show, okay? Every week there's a new card show. Every week there's a new whatever show. And I'm not hating on those people, but the reality is these venues are getting hit by multiple shows all the time. And so what happened in this case is that they had told me a date. I went back and said, "Okay, can we do this January 25th date?" Now, recently, when I went back to them to get a contract, they're like, "Oh, somebody else has booked the bigger space," because they want to sell the bigger space. I don't want the bigger space because it's 100,000 square feet. Okay, it's 100,000 square feet. And we don't, and just to give you an idea of how much 100,000 is, like if you take our show in Tampa, that's like 45. Okay. And so it would be double that. And then, and I don't want that, because if you don't have thousands of people coming, it looks like nobody's there. And I don't want that. Okay. So, and then you get a lot of duplicate with vendors, and you get unhappy vendors, and you get unhappy customers because they don't feel like there's nobody there. So I didn't want that. So, but they were going to drape it off. And then anyway, long story short, I said I wanted the ballroom, which is originally what I said I wanted. And anyway, so when I went back to them to get the contract, they're like, "Well, this card guy, he's doing a three-day show. I don't know how many shows he's done. Maybe he's done a couple, but maybe he doesn't want you there and I'm like, "Okay, man, that's fine. We'll just come up with something else." So again, I've got like two vendors, that I have to, basically figure out their booths, and then I'll close that out. So that's going to be closed out too. I do plan on doing a Daytona Beach event. Okay. I just don't know when that's going to be. So I don't want to hold on to somebody's money when I don't know when it's going to be. I know it's going to be next year. Not ready to figure it out. And I don't want anybody mad at me that I'm holding up their money. So, that's the last thing I need, is someone saying I owe them money on a show because I'm not going to do it or whatever. I don't want that. So we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna move on from the Santa show. So the next show that we're officially doing is Coral Springs. That's a done deal. This this is a great venue with free parking. You know, yeah, this is a great venue with free parking, and it's in a great location. I didn't think it was a great location at first, but we had an amazing show. I do have space for this because it is a large space. It's about 12,000 square feet. It's at a beautiful hotel. I think the tables are 6 foot. Though that's the only downer. I have to go back and look and ask, because I remember there was some confusion where the lady had told me that they only have 6 foots, and I think it was the opposite. So um, there might be 8 foot tables, and I just don't know. So, but Coral Springs again uh, is our actually officially next show, and I know that's like a month out, but that's okay with me, because right after that I've got a whole shooting match of shows here. Okay, and we're gonna be in Fort Myers at the Coolest of Sound. This needs to be corrected. um, I knew that looked a little odd, because what it is, this is a text underneath there, isn't there? The Calusa Sound Convention Center, we're going to be there. On the Orlando Collective Fest, I have had a bunch of people ask me about that event on February 1st at Avanti. I'm waiting for the contract. Okay. Quick little, I mean, this is, you guys, I know that, everything looks easy when you get to the show, and that's what I want it to look like. And people that haven't run these, or maybe they only do one show a year, okay, it's I mean, it's you can do it, okay? But when you're trying to run multiple shows and all this, I mean, these venues are can be a real pain, okay? I like the Avanti and everything, and we've been running there for 5 years. But and I'm not blaming the lady that, I'm talking to, but unfortunately they change management there like annually. It seems like, the late whoever is running the catering or whatever, they're there for a year, maybe a little bit more, and then they move on to some other property. I don't know. That's just the way it's been. Okay. Um, and so now I'm so, originally I had like the 19th or something, or the 17th, or the 10th. That's what it was. I had January 10th for a Avanti show originally. I booked that. I talked to the lady about last June on that. Okay. And she sent me a contract, and I didn't send it back to her right away, but she had me punched in for the date. And sometimes, because I've been doing business with these venues multiple times, they know that, I drag sometimes to send them the paperwork back. And that's on me. Okay. That's on me. That's my fault. But, um, you know, management changed, and then somebody else came in and said, "Hey, we want that event." So they're contacting me to see if I sent the let me get rid of this so you can see me. They sent me they asked me if I had a signed contract, and I'm like, "No." She sent me the contract, but I just hadn't sent it back in. And she's like, "Well, we got somebody else." And basically they bumped me. They said, "Oh, they had a wedding or something like that, so they're going to make more money." So they bumped me. So now I'm coming back to them for new dates and everything. Anyway, this is the stuff that I deal with. I mean, I'm not complaining, guys. I'm just telling you, giving you background information of stuff that happens. Okay, that's really what I'm doing. I love what I do, and I'm not complaining at all. I'm just giving you guys some background. So I believe though that um, we're gonna have Avanti show February 1st. Um, I don't have the contract yet, and I don't want to take anybody's money for tables until I have contract and all that. So please be patient. We will have at least a couple Orlando shows, and all that. And speaking of the Orlando shows, we normally have like a Star Wars GI Joe show, like around the 10th or something like that. And I'm not doing that this year, because basically it costs me uh, most of the money that I charge, we charge like $5. I think I spend at least $3 or $4 of that on just advertising because it's so hard to get people to show up to a toy show in December. Now, other people that are doing it, maybe it'll be awesome, and I wish I'm happy for them if they are now. But it's tough to get. Um, you would think that you would think that everybody wants to buy toys at Christmas, but really the people that come to our shows, they're buying for themselves. Um, and so I think that the whole mind shift changes. Anyway, let me go ahead and go through some of these these comments. Hey Andy, again, I appreciate you being here. Andy is our candy guy, and we'll look forward to having him at the show this year. And again, thanks Jason for mentioning that. And Jessica, thank you. For being on the video here, and I don't know if you signed up as a vendor, but I was really looking forward to having a different type of show, a new concept. And thank you again, Andy, for the great job there. Um, and Jonathan Smith, hopefully we see you signed up. We haven't seen you in a little while. And Kyle, thanks. We'll see you in Fort Myers in just over a month there. We're going to be back there. It's just one day for those of you. I know there was a lot of vendors that didn't want to sign up because there was a 2-day show in September. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the one day for a little while on that. And then we haven't seen Courtney in a while. We'll see if we see Courtney, our boy Sean there, Courtney and Sean. Thanks guys for coming out. Okay. So again, no complaints here. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of background on what I deal with on a with the venues. I wish I could fill this schedule up like boom right immediately, but a lot of this stuff, like I'll give you another example. Just normally we would be in Kissimmee on March 7th, okay, but the reason why we're not going to be there is because let me again make myself a little bit bigger here. The reason why we're not going to be there is because technically Kissimmee has, I think I want to go to the bigger space, and technically Kissimmee has the space that we normally use, and they have 6-foot tables that we can use for that show. That's the smaller room that we've been using for the last 3 years or so. And where we started out in 2020 at OHP. However, the parking has went up to $15 at the Osceola Heritage Park, and I really want to avoid that if I can, because now customers are going to be paying $15 to park. Yes, maybe they have access to some other event that's going on there, but they're coming into our smaller show, and yeah, we're charging $10, but they already paid $15. So if I was doing a large event, then it is what it is. But I don't have a huge event there, and so I want to avoid that. So the only so according to them, the only the first available date where I could, and I'm waiting for her to, I mean, she's confirmed it twice, but I'm waiting for her to confirm again that she can put me into the hallway, into the hall, bigger hall. She gave me like a list of like 10 dates, and they were all parking 15, and all this stuff. So, I want to try to avoid that if I can. So as of right now, I mean, this may turn into a 2-day show though, because we've never done a 2-day show out there. And I do think that, I think that maybe we could do it out there. I'm not 100%. I think what we are going to do though is we are going to be in the larger space. What that's going to do is that's going to give us more vendor space, more vendors, and we're going to have a setup day. So normally we don't have a setup day. And what we're going to do is that's actually, like Star Wars kind of weekend there. And so we're going to mix that with like a Star Wars kind of theme there. So we kind of are going to be killing two birds with one stone, kind of a thing there. I haven't quite figured all that out yet, but that's the date that I have from Kissimmee, and so we're going to try to go with this Orlando. I'm gonna try to find a venue. I'm waiting for Avanti to give me all of their dates that are available right now. That's why you see Con Misfits right around uh, uh, the MegaCon show. That's why you see that there. We'll see if that, how that works out, but I'm working on that also. Now, the other thing here, show date says June 7th. Um, Originally, I planned on having an Orlando show in January at Avanti, and then I wanted to have Avanti here again because we usually have an Avanti show here right in this time frame. Ocala is set in stone. That's under contract. I when I did the November 16th show, I did 2 dates were the same contract. So that is 100%. So but the June 7th, I'm waiting for Avanti. I'm waiting for a couple other people. I'm not going to get into other places, but Avanti is one of the locations. And then we got Port St. Lucie that we could do. And then there's another location that I'm waiting to hear back from to see if we can do something there. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So we'll see on that one. But basically, all of these other ones are set in stone. The Bradenton, that's probably going to be Sarasota. I'm waiting for the guy. And the reason why this is so early, March 1st, I'm waiting for the guy to get back to me on that. Let me just. The reason why that is so early is because the municipal auditorium that we use, they're going to be closing in April for over a year, and for like a complete renovation of the inside of the building. So we only can do that up to March something. And so I'm waiting, but all their fees have changed because the city has given, they're not running it now. There's like another entity that's running it. And I think their fees went up and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm waiting for them to get back to me on that. And I know that some of this stuff I should have already known, but we did 25 shows, guys. We did 25 shows this year, and we had people at every one of them. And so, running that amount of events, and we're not even doing an event in December. So that means that we did more than 2 a month. And that 25 was without, according to my wife, 25 is without the Christmas show. So, hey, Mark, Draven, hopefully I don't know if we will see you at a show because you got your store up there, but if we do, congratulations on your new shop up there. Didn't get up there for the lake, for the grand opening at the Lake Square Mall in Leesburg. Okay, that's where Mark Draven is. He's got some toys. I thought it was a tattoo shop, but it's more than that. So look him up. Entertainment Inc. He's up there, and he had I think he had Keith Coogan out there, and Keith's a great guy. He does live here in Florida now. Recently they moved from LA to Florida, so you might be seeing Keith here a little bit more around the area. But anyway, so okay, guys. I guess I do need to update this schedule. This is only through July. Of course, we're probably going to have a light August just based on, what I'm doing is I'm moving the Lakeland show to the end of July. And then we'll probably have a light August and then kind of get back at it in September. I already have shows in September. We're going to do some different stuff this year, and the schedule is not in, this isn't necessarily the final schedule. This is just what I got right now and what I want to do. I mean, everything that is on the fairgrounds, like the fairgrounds show is going to move to October instead of or mid-October instead of the first week in November. That's going to be changing. And we are still doing 3 shows there. Oh, okay, cool. Tattoos, toys, autographs. Okay, awesome. Great. All right, I'm gonna have to come up there and check it out and maybe do a video from there because all right. So now so okay, so real quick. So again, I appreciate everybody coming out to watch, and I'll be on. I'll come on here, give you guys an update. I have Broward. You know what? Yeah, I need to oh, I need to get back to, I'm waiting for that hotel to be done down there. I think it's finally going to be done. And I'm going to be well, Humpty, I will I'll get with you on an off thing. I don't want to get too deep into my strategy on here, but I am going to be trying to work on my app that I wanted to put out for people. And then there's some other things that I've been wanting to do. I've got videos I recorded and everything, never edited and all that. So, but anyway, I'm basically focused on filling these shows, and I'm probably going to be going to Cajun Con this weekend in New Orleans area. The guy that does the Scooby thing, I'm sure Mark knows everybody there, but it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I need to shake some hands and meet some more people. And we're going to try to do some more. Okay, Jacksonville area. Yeah. So that is the we do have that. Basically, again, the people that book the Coral Springs shows also book the World Golf Village. So so that's we're going to be there towards the end of April right now. I am going to kind of try to circle back to Jacksonville and try to find a new venue. Maybe go downtown if I can get a date. And stuff like that. Okay, Jeremy, if you go to you can message me on the page on our Facebook page, and I'll send you a link to our either our Ventany page or any show that you're talking about. I'm gonna update in the morning. You can also go to our website, floridatoyshows.com, and I'm gonna have an up-to-date schedule there tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I'll update I might do it tonight, but update the website with the latest schedule and the links and all that. I need to update that and stuff. And Lake City, you can message me on that if you want. Okay. We haven't done, trying to think, Lake City, that's Leesburg, set by Tavares. Sorry, Jay, I'm thinking Tavernier down in the Keys right now. Maybe that's where I should be. All right. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for coming out, and we'll be back. And I'm really sorry about the Santa show. And the Daytona. We'll get back to Daytona. I either need to find another venue or I need to look around. I've kind of avoided Daytona because Tom Rupp has his shows there. But really, and Tom would agree with me on this, and I think all of you that are on here would agree. Tom's shows are just different than my shows. Okay, his are more comic oriented. Not that we don't have comics, but it's more focused on comics. And if he could, I can't say that. If he could have all comics, then maybe you'd have all comics. But Tom's show is a comic show, okay? And I'm the first, I just, just like I think people would say mine's more of a toy show. We don't have, as much vintage stuff as I would like, but that's the nature of the beast. Vendors that are vintage vendors or whatever don't always want to, they don't want to vend as much as is I run the shows, and they've got other options. They want to travel around and all that, maybe to some other bigger, Chicago, and and some of these other shows that in Georgia and all that stuff. So my goal is to be more of a consistent, something that have people have shopping. But anyway, okay, all right. You guys have a good week, and I'm sure I will see you. I'll come on here next week, and I'll give you an update on everything. And then, but have a great week, because I think I'll be planning on going to Universal tomorrow, I think, um, and then later in the week I'll be trying to go to Cajun Con. So I'm going to try to get all this stuff figured out with the Santa Claus show here. All right, so I think you messaged me, but you got a Mr. Garcia, but you gotta hit me with some specifics, okay? So if you have a venue or whatever, if you have ideas for venues, um, that's fine. You can hit me up, and we'll look at them. All right. Have a great evening, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye now.